12 laps of Sepang. The rumble starts, the growl begins. Hafiz is off to a thumping start, but also coming through from P4 was Azroy Hakim Anwar.
Yeah, that was a good start from Azroy. He tries to get around the outside and he makes it. He makes it.
And Arbe tries to go on the inside. Arbe's got himself up into P3, so it's not the perfect start for Hafiz Sharan. It's very, very good from Azroy Hakim Anwar. Oh, a little tweak there. Scary moment for Chip Nakarim, but he's got himself through into P3 ahead of Arbe.
Zakwan bites back at Kito Arbe and gets the third position back as things stand.
An exciting start from Azroy Hakim Anwar. Azroy, of course, had a win double here. Has only been on the podium once since then in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races. 2 DNFs in that time. It did look so promising for Azroy in race 3 and 4 of the season, but it's rather fallen away.
Big pressure from Hafiz Sharan on race leader Azroy.
Zakwan is right there as well by 21 and 39 Kito Arbe, with Chik Nakarin in 41 in P5.
Yeah, the pressure pays off, Des.
Smooth.
That was enough. It was, yeah, it was smooth. Very smoothly done. Azroy, quite a smoothie himself. Nice work.
That was excellent.
And Zakwan pressuring as well.
Long range switchback there from Azroy Hakim Anwar. But on the long straight, you expect the grunt of the Ducati to really be able to show its worth. Looks on the inside, second overtake, and Azroy, he wants to come back as well. He's got the inside track on Hafiz Sharan. What has the Ducati got? Well, he's got too much power.
He tried to force Hafiz wide there. It didn't quite work. I think Hafiz is going to get through turn 15. Better. Yeah, he's a little bit wider.
Drive out from Hafiz Sharan. And after a difficult first lap, oh, he just zooms past us in the commentary area. That was so smooth as silk from Hafiz Sharan.
And the whole order behind him shakes up, Des. Nakarin nearly got through there.
Ooh, Arbe forced to stand up. But this is looking very good for Hafiz Sharan, looking ominous for others. Arbe is having to work exceptionally hard as they come down the hill into this right-hander. He's in P4 at the moment. Chip Nakarin in 5. Andy Farrad is part of the equation as well. Lachlan Epis is trying to get involved with the front 6. Just a little bit behind the A-ball is number 83.
Big loser there was Azroy, who led at one stage. Now it's Zakwan taking up the chase with Hafiz.
How did Nakarin get up into 3?
Yeah, yeah, that was it. That was the order that changed on the straight first time around. Nakarin got himself up there. He wasn't on the pace yesterday. He's hoping he's got a bit more today.
10 points behind the championship leader, who is Hafiz Sharan, who's leading the way now. 50 points available in Buriram. I know they're not thinking of that right now, but in the bigger scheme of things, Chip Nakarin must be saying, Buriram is my territory. So long as I don't go too far behind, I'm going in there with a chance.
This is good aggression from Zakwan. He's really fancying this win. Like you said, Des, it's been a long time since we've seen Zakwan on top of the podium. He can feel that too, but his form has been very much better this season.
Arbe loses a place. Azroy Hakim on the inside, and Arbe unable to take it back from Azroy Hakim Anwar. Not good for the Japanese, not good for SDG Hawk Pro.
Zakwan's going to keep his position for now. This will be interesting. See what they do down the front straight. Ducati versus Honda.
Well, the Honda's no slouch on that speed, and Zakwan was fast in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Has just posted a 2:06.3, fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, this is good work. Malaysian 1-2. Malaysians 1 and 2 in the championship, as well as on track. Nakarin in P3 ahead of Azroy.
Well, the first 5 here are the first 5 in the championship, as Zakwan goes through. on the inside. Maybe the setup is perfect for Zakwan Zaidi today, or maybe he's gone just a little bit too early, showed his hand too early.
Let's see what the pace is. You pointed out, Des, just a few moments ago, how quick he was on that previous lap. Hafiz getting tucked in. Can Zakwan stretch away and take his first win, the 2022 champion?
Interestingly, he's on the hard compound front tyre. Everyone's on the same back tyre, but it means he can just be a little bit more aggressive on his braking, perhaps, on that front wheel.
Behind from Hafiz will have confirmed that he doesn't have anything to worry about behind, so he can focus on making trouble for Zakwan Zaidi.
Behind them, Chip Nakarin is there. There's Hafiz Sharan on the Ducati for JDT. This has been a long plan to get them up to the top of the tree in the ARRC ASB 1000. It's the grown-ups in the motorcycling world. But Zakwan, still relatively, he's only 27, Zakwan. I keep forgetting he's been around for so long. But he's probably at the peak of his powers.
Yeah, and he's doing some coaching younger riders now. And Daniel made a point on Friday, as we were doing our cricket-style commentary, that perhaps teaching makes you think harder about what you're doing, because Daniel himself is a coach.
Well, the lead for Zakwan Zaidi. Nakarin is there. Azroy goes through. 23. Andy Farid goes through. This is not looking promising for Kito Abe.
Yeah, he loses 2 places. So Kito down to 5th, 6th.
Oh, going into Mandalika, Abe was the leader. He just had a DNF in Motegi. Back-to-back wins in Sepang.
I'm glad Daniel interviewed Andy Farid on the grid, because he said he was feeling okay and made some setup changes. We've missed him at the front this year. The early races weren't quite so good as we expected for him. Then he had some injury problems. Now he's back.
He missed Motegi with injury. Podium in Mandalika. And not a million miles off potential podium here. 9 laps still to go, long way still to go. 23 is the man we're talking about. Andy Farid is the heart. Strange falling off yesterday. Fast part of the circuit, turn 7. Not normally many incidents there.
One of several, it has to be said. Strange fallings off.
Nakarin, though, leads that very, very fast Honda train.
Zakwan showing good pace here. Hafiz not giving up.
Front 2 are pulling away. Zakwan's not been able to pull away from Hafiz. That will be encouraging for the Ducati man. And then what line do they take through? Plenty of rehearsal opportunities now. There's 8 laps to go. Behind them, keeping an eye on Abe. Well, Nakarin's in the mix as well. Everyone's got their own personal agendas to look after here.
Yeah, Nakarin wants to keep his hopes alive before going back to the scene of his double win at the beginning of the season. Azroy goes ahead of him as we speak into turn 1. But then he goes well wide.
Gosh.
A few errors in this race from Azroy have cost him. Uncharacteristic, we have to say.
But he got back into a position. He went so wide. It's almost like he was teasing everybody. A little bit of a thumbs up as well to the green helmet of Lachlan Epis, who's hanging in there just at the tail of this fast front 6. The 5 Hondas and the Ducati, and Epis on the BMW Savitar.
Yeah, Lachlan doing low 207s. Good pace from the Australian.
Even Cho Yu Zhou, who's hitting 216s, is
Kito Abe. It's Honda making all kinds of shapes. Just behind Andy. Difficult to read this battle between Hafiz and Zakwan. Last time around, Hafiz was a touch quicker.
were talking to the pit crews of JDT earlier on, and they were saying, listen, we'll try and be careful, we'll try and be cautious, try and not take too many risks, but it's not the way they've been.
Yeah, that's one thing that's easy to say and very difficult to execute.
It's a fascinating race. Azroy Hakim's just edged his way there ahead of Chip Nakarin. Azroy is now the new P3. Chip then looks back on the inside. He wants to take it back, so indeed he has. Attila Puvapat, no he hasn't, because Azroy, they've got the setup right in the Metsu Honda today. And Andy Farid loses a place to Kito Abe. These four regularly changing positions, whether or not they're working together to try to draw in, or whether or not they're just racing, I'm not quite sure. Oh, down is Cho-Yu-Jo.
Yeah. Cho-Yu-Jo down for this race. He might be able to remount, but once again, we see Azroy aggressive at turn 1 on the brakes, keeps it perfectly clean that time, and gets to the front of this little group.
Abe chases in. Remember, he was championship leader coming into Sepang. Now he's in danger of, well, being a long way behind the championship leader if he doesn't improve, if he can't pick up more points, if this group can't join in on the front two. This is an 11-point weekend total for Kito Abe as it stands.
These are the championship races. 2 more after this one.
SDG Harkpro, bottom left of your screen. They're looking from their pit wall onto the telemetry, onto the data that's coming through.
As you'd expect, they're giving absolutely nothing away, because they're thinking exactly the same as we are. Kito's pushing, but not able to make any impression.
Azroy Hakim deserves a lot of credit. He's got himself into P3. But unable to make any headway on the front two. They're having their own little battle. Behind them, Lachlan Epis has disappeared. Oh, there he is, just coming into the shot at the end of the long straight. Very top of your screen, there's Lachlan Epis, biker number 7. Cameron Duncan. Dunker is behind him for MotoJoe.
Intriguing stuff in this battle behind. It is a podium battle in one sense. It's also very edgy for the championship, with Nakarin and Kito Abe right in the middle of that group of 4. Said that, Andy Farid goes wide.
Yeah, the Astra Honda racer man has just dropped a little bit off that pace. I'm sure he's got the ability to rejoin it.
An error at turn 1, and yeah, you're right, Des. He does come through very well later in the race. He's good at managing his tyres.
Yes, of course. Yes. We've seen that numerous times from Andy Farid. But Abe. Focus is on Abe. Still leading the way, Azroy Hakim. It's a 300km/h train at its fastest as they come around the Indian Oil corner. The rain is looking like it's going to stay away.
This is such an absorbing battle. Fastest rider so far is Azroy.
206, low 206s. Chip Nakarin also in the low 206s. Everybody in the low 206s.
5 are in low 206s, yeah. So 206.1 for Azroy.
Even Lachlan Epis, 207s. Cameron Dunker, 208s. Watanuki on the Aprilia, 209s. Joe Francis for Victor Racing on the BMW, 209s. It's not too shabby.
Now, what's in the mind of Hafiz Shirin? Is he thinking...
Oh, Abe. Abe sneaks through and just closes the door. Can he hold the drive? Drive coming out, yeah. Arbe's just able to get him in front of Nakarin Aturapurupat.
Nakarin, of course, one of the great scrappers in this series.
I think the key is with Nakarin, with Buriram to come. Home advantage.
Yeah, this is good work. It's a cherubic face that he's got when we interview him on the grid, and you see him outside of racing. That belies the heart of a killer.
Half a second between Zakwan and Hafiz Sharin. Azroy Hakim Anwar closing in on the back of Hafiz. So the Idemitsu Hondas may well have got their setup right. There's the gap between 2 and 3. And Azroy has got himself, I mean, that's a battle going on between Arbe and Nakarin.
That was a very good last lap from Zakwan, 206.155.
Took 2/10 off Hafiz. Azroy Hakim also got a 10th up on Hafiz Sharin.
Yeah, you're right about those Hondas getting their setup right, the Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia team. This might be settling for a 45-point weekend here.
Which isn't too shabby. They would certainly keep him in the lead. And Zakwan would come a little bit closer if it remained like this. Yeah. And we've not really factored Zakwan's idea into championship reckoning, have we? We've been talking Arbe, we've been talking Nakarin, we've been talking Hafiz, and Zakwan has quietly snuck in. If he were to win here, he's 3 points behind Hafiz.
That's it. Yeah, currently 8 points. And so, yeah, 5-point difference between first and second, that would do it.
It is a big if.
And Zakwan, if you ask him, will tell you his favourite circuit is Chang International.
Well, let's see. Azroy Hakim Anwar may well have something to say about this as well. He's managed to close that gap. Be interested to see. Right, he's closed. It was over 2 seconds between him and Hafiz. Got 4 laps to go. It might be too much of a gap to close, but he is closing in on Hafiz Sharin Abdullah of JDT Racing. So the Ducati faces a threat from both Idemitsu Hondas.
Yeah, fastest lap of the race once again has gone back to Azroy. Good late pace. He was a little bit scrappy early in the race, uncharacteristically so, it has to be said.
Still Hafiz trails Zakwan Zaidi. Zakwan for Idemitsu Honda. Great pace though, nice line. Uses the lean. JDT crew and Honda crew, bottom left of your pictures, as we alternate between the two of them. How bitten are those fingernails?
Yeah, they're probably invisible now. Have to strap them up next time.
Nice contrast in style. Zakwan looks nice and smooth and compact and elbows tight in. Hafiz, as is always the case, it's almost like he's an emotional rider. Stands up, sudden jerky movements.
Yeah, he's got longer levers, hasn't he, than Zakwan. So his movements on the bike are a lot more visible. You can see right in that shot.
Azroy Hakim. Let's see how close he is as they come through with 3 laps to go. Zakwan still leads. 1, 2. The gap is 1.9. He's closing in. He's just done a 2:06. He's made 2/10 up on Hafiz Sharin there.
Yeah, he's the fastest rider on track. Going into turn 1, Hafiz Sharin getting very close to Zakwan. I was looking out of the window, but that might have been a mistake from Zakwan going into turn 1. This is right on him now.
Yeah, absolutely. Zakwan's pacing has been pretty solid, pretty good.
And if they start fighting with each other, Azroy's going to catch them quicker.
Hafiz, will he settle for 20 points? Will he think bigger picture?
I think think he's just switched from thinking I'll settle
Yes, so do
to
I.
come on.
That's why I've asked. He's been so sensible for the last 5 laps, 6 laps. But now he can smell the rubber on the back wheel of Zakwan Zaidi.
He's changed his mental mapping, I think, from let's think about the championship to let's win this race.
Azroy Hakim's last 4 laps, 206.1, 206.2, 206 dead, 206 dead. He's picking up 0.2 of a second on each lap. It might not be enough, but it's certainly worth noticing.
It could be now that the 2 at the front are so close. Yeah, it's a 10th or 2, a couple of tenths a lap that Azroy's reeling them in. He needs this race to be a little bit longer, I think, but he's going absolutely brilliantly now.
Oh, he's alongside and in the lead. That mental change did happen, going round the outside is Zakwan. But there's the new race leader, and there's the reaction from the pit crew. And it looks like he's got the power to accelerate away. That could be a key moment.
He was 3 tenths ahead going through there, and another fastest lap from Azroy,
who's within a second now of Zakwan Zaidi with 2 laps to go. Just a bit of news about Savitar Racing Asia. Chiu Joe has retired, Declan Carberry is in P11, Joe Francis of Victor Racing in P10, Maiku Watanaku. Matanuki from Tatara Apriya is in P9. But this is now looking like a back-to-back weekend for Hafiz Sharin Abdullah, or has Zakwan got something left?
Let's see, he was quick on that last lap. He closed up on Zakwan at the start of that previous lap. Let's see if Zakwan's got an answer. His pace has been good all the way through.
It was a Hafiz Zakwan 1-2 in race 1 yesterday. If it remains the same, it'll be a 1-3 point lead to take into the final 2 races for Zakwan, for Hafiz over Zakwan.
Yeah, Zakwan's not done.
No, he's not, is he?
But neither is Azroy.
Azroy lost a little bit of time in sector 2 to Zakwan.
But impressive, he brought his lap times down and down and down, and on lap 10 he did a 2:0. He got into the 2:05s. If only.
As they come down the back straight for the penultimate time, Zakwan can't get close enough to Hafiz Sharin. That Ducati has got that extra bit of beastly power. Nice tight line as they come down the home straight. 1 more lap to go. Hafiz Sharin, JDT, Ducati, they lead by half a second. That's what he's taken, and Zakwan is now under pressure from Azroy Hakim.
Yeah, this looks like Hafiz sealed it with that late surge. You could just see it in the body language. And he's stretching away from Zakwan even further now than when they crossed the line. So that half a second gap sticking. It's with Hafiz at the moment.
He's looking for a 4th win in 5 races. The investment for Ducati has taken its time to really show its potential, but now we're seeing that Zakwan is doing his best to hang on, but looking for a win double. There was 2 P2s in Sepang earlier on this season. This time looking for a win double, or is Zakwan close enough, Barry Russell?
Zakwan's closing. He's made up a couple, 2 tenths on that last sector. Here he comes on the inside, and they
crash.
Oh, and they're down.
They're both
off.
Hafiz Sharin is
Azroy goes through.
Azroy Hakim will come through and take the victory. JDT on the cusp of the victory. Zakwan Zaidi and Hafiz Sharin are out. They've crashed. remarkable incident as Hafiz was carried for about 100 metres on the back of the bike of Zakwan Zaidi, and the race will be won by Azroy Hakim Anwar. They're both going to try and get up to pick up some points, but that was utterly remarkable.
Incredible stuff. We'll have another look at that incident in a moment as the riders try to get back on, salvage some points.
Beyond them, Chip Nakarin is going to pick up points, but Azroy Hakim is going to come through and take the victory. Arbe might want to be involved in this one. Arbe goes tight. If Arbe can pick up points, it could be so crucial. Azroy Hakim Anwar takes a sensational checkered flag. Second place goes to Chip Nakarin. Andy Farid ahead of Kito Arbe. But what is happening to Zakwan Zaidi and Hafiz Sharin? Unbelievable.
Incredible stuff from two riders, so experienced.
Lachlan Epis 5, Dunker 6. JDT looking ashen-faced as we all look to see what happens. Here's the incident, Barry Russell.
So Zakwan, we can see how much he wanted it. He was closing very fast through sector 2. This is in sector 3. Hafiz cuts across the front. Zakwan goes to the inside. There's a big distance between them here. As they tip in, Zakwan stays upright and Hafiz clatters into him, and he's almost taking a pillion ride there. The exhaust muffler digging into the midriff of Hafiz. So, but Zakwan had the line there.
Utterly astonishing. This JDT emotional coaster of a ride carries on. The winner, though, is Azroy Hakim Anwar. Your new championship leader is Chip Nakarin. Unbelievable. Oh.
Incredible stuff. That will be under investigation. For me, Zakwan had the line.
But that won't impact Chip Nakarin, and it won't really help Hafiz. They can't go back and give him points, but wow, Chip Nakarin comes through for a P2, 20 points. Your winner, Azroy Hakim Anwar. That's 3 wins in 4 races here at Sepang. And Barry Russell is looking as ashen-faced, I think, as the JDT crew.
Yeah, I'm shocked rather than disappointed like the JDT crew, but this is absolutely incredible. And Kito Abe not even on the podium with 2 main rivals out.